There's a specific pattern I see again and again in high achieving professionals. They're not burned out because they can't handle the work. They're burned out because guilt has quietly become their decision making system. And here's the mistake that creates the problem. When guilt drives your choices, you stop deciding strategically and start deciding to relieve discomfort. You say yes to avoid tension. You overextend to avoid disappointing someone. And you call it professionalism. But the cost is subtle and serious. Over time, this erodes clarity, authority, and trust with yourself. Decision making gets heavier. Your energy narrows, and leadership starts to feel like self betrayal instead of influence. Hello, and welcome to Soul Fire Leadership. I'm Amanda L. Christian, and after more than 30 years leading global teams in finance and technology, I now work with high achieving women who are successful on paper but quietly misaligned inside, especially around how they make decisions under pressure. And what I want to show you today is why guilt feels so convincing, why it keeps hijacking otherwise capable leaders, and how to recognize when it's running the system instead of you. Here's the part most leadership conversations skip. Guilt is not your conscience. It's conditioning wearing the voice of authority. We've been taught that guilt is a moral compass, and in a way it is. And that if we don't feel guilty, we'd become selfish, unprofessional, difficult, especially as women, especially as leaders. But neurologically, that's not what's happening. When guilt gets activated, decision making shifts into the brain's reactive system, the part of you that wants immediate relief, not long term alignment. So the question stops being, what's the right decision? And quietly becomes, what will make this feeling stop as fast as possible? That's not a character flaw, that's a system problem. This operating system didn't start in your career. For many women, it started much earlier. Be helpful, be agreeable, don't disappoint, and definitely don't take up too much space. If you were praised for being reliable, easy, or the one who holds it all together, that wiring didn't disappear when you became a leader. It just got rewarded until it didn't. And the data reflects what your body already knows. Burnout among senior level women is at a 5-year high, not because they're less capable, but because they're making thousands of decisions through a filter that prioritizes everyone else's comfort over their own strategic clarity. That filter has a name. It's guilt. And it runs quietly in the background of every yes that should have been a no. I learned this the hard way. After decades inside large financial and technology systems, I saw how often my own professionalism was actually self abandonment with a better resume. Doing the thing because I was capable, available, reliable, and then being dismissed for it anyway. That's when the pattern became impossible to ignore. 3 signs guilt is running the system. Once you see these, you can't unsee them. First, guilt based decisions prioritize immediate relief over long term alignment. Your body knows the cost, but your nervous system just wants the discomfort to stop. Second, they're often justified with, "You're the only one." Listen for that phrase or similar phrases. It's not a compliment. It's a signal that consent was never part of the equation. And third, you get punished whether you comply or resist. Say no, and you're not a team player. Say yes, and it becomes the new baseline. The guilt doesn't resolve because resolution was never the point. Compliance was. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Guilt is not information about the quality of your decision. It's information about the quality of your conditioning. When you feel guilty setting a boundary, that doesn't mean the boundary is wrong. It means it's unfamiliar. Unfamiliar doesn't mean selfish. It means new. So the question isn't, will I feel guilty if I say no? The better question is this a hell yes or a guilt yes? A hell yes feels expansive, clean energy, maybe a little bit of nerves, but the alive kind. A guilt yes feels heavy before you even answer. Maybe your shoulders tighten, or you get that sense of immediate regret, or your stomach clenches. Your body knows the difference long before your brain explains it away. If decision making feels harder lately, that's not a flaw, it's a signal. And aligned leadership doesn't start with doing more. It starts the moment you stop abandoning yourself to be liked. If this conversation resonated, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. It helps this message reach more professionals who are stuck in the same loop. And if you want more of these real conversations about leadership, alignment, identity, and the inner game of your career, hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. We're just getting started.